Yo, what's going on, family? What's good? So, in this video, we're going to go over pivots. Now, when we talk about pivots, there are specific calculations that go in with that. So, I'm going to list that here for you so everyone understands the power of why you should use the pivot scanner, especially when you're range trading, or better yet, trading during consolidation or when the market is finding balance, right? Contraction before the expansion, that kind of stuff, right? So, first, I'm going to lay out the calculations. I'm going to draw it out for you. So, let me make sure I got this good. All right, I think we good over here. So let me draw it out right over here. And this is basically going to be the pivot point calculation. All right, so it goes like this. Pivot point calculation. Excuse my chicken scratch. All right, so here's the pivot point calculation. All right, it's real simple. So basically, the pivot, all right, is basically going to be the high plus the low plus the close divided by 3. And how can you detect this, right? It's very simple. You have all of the exchange rates right over here on the right side. Okay, so these are the rates. It's all over here, right? This is based on the quote currency. So in this case, AUD, CHF, okay, we're getting all the quotes from the quote currency. That's this right here, all right? So this is the quote currency. All right, and this is the base. All right, so this is what it is. We're going by the quote currency right over here. All right, and so when we calculate this, we're gonna get the high, we're gonna get the low, and we're gonna get the close, and divide that number by 3. That's gonna give us the exchange rate as to where the actual currency exchange rate is sitting at as a pivot point. And this is just one of a few pivot points, because one thing you're going to see when we activate the scanner for you, you're going to see that there's actually a few pivot points, but it's going to be used as a reference point to know where to find buys and sells as you are range trading. Okay. Now, here's a couple more. Here's a couple more for you over here. Okay. So support 1. All right. And support 2. Resistance 1 and resistance 2. So we're going to do S1, R1, S2, R2. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. So S1 is support 1. And how we're going to find that, all right, is 2P. Okay, so 2 times the pivot point minus the high. All right, so this is support 1. Okay, resistance 1. This is going to be 2P minus the low. All right, so 2 times the pivot point minus the low. That's going to be R1. All right, S2. This is support 2. All right, this is going to be P minus the high minus low in parentheses. Okay. And for R2, which is resistance 2, all right, it's going to be P plus high minus the low in parentheses. All right, and so here is the calculations for this. Okay, so again, pivot point calculation. All right, this is how we find a pivot: high plus low plus close divided by 3. This is how we find the pivot. All right, support 1, here's the formula for that. Resistance 1, here's the formula for that. Support 2, and resistance to. These are the formulas to do this. Now, we are in the age where we're utilizing AI, where we're utilizing the power of programming, right, to automatically calculate some things for us. Now, as you can see, all right, on pivots, okay, you can only get it if you have exclusive access to IM Mastery Academy, whether you have the Forex membership, or if you have any of the qualifying memberships to be able to activate this, such as the market tools, and it's not limited to just that. Now, you can also have this as an add-on, I believe. You notice that there are three moving average bands over here. And so this works very similar to the alligator indicator. And I know we covered that before, but basically when the fast moving average crosses the other two, that is a signal for a buy or sell. So if it's crossing up the other two, if the lift's crossing up the other two, that's a trigger for a buy. If the fast moving average is crossing down the other two, that is a trigger for a sell. So we can see that AUDCHF, all right, is moving bullish. It's moving bullish right now. And we want to be able to calculate these pivot points in case the market stops trending and it starts ranging, right? Because the trend is your friend until it bends. And when it bends, it's going to start ranging. So you're going to want to know where are these points in order for you to take full advantage of it. So we're going to unhide the drawings. Okay, and we're going to see that there's several points that are laid out. Okay, so remember support one, resistance one, support two, resistance two, that kind of stuff. That kind of stuff, right? And so we can clearly see here that it is drawn out for us in a very simple way. So once the market is starting to range a little bit, then we are going to, all right, going to get a good reference point as to where we should be buying and where we should be selling. Okay, this is critical, especially for those of you that want to, you want to be able to identify some pretty good opportunity. So we notice right over here at the R6 level, this is 51, it's 58, 136, right at this level, hard resistance right there. And when we're looking at these other, as we look at these other levels, we realize some of these levels are acting as support. There's some levels that are flip levels, so they can act as either a resistance or support. It just depends on what's currently in the motion right now, right? But as we can see, it wicked really hard right around the R6 level. So we can expect that to be a hard resistance. And we can expect this to be a support if the market is no longer trending and is starting to range. So there's a really good, system, to use to help you assess that. So here's the full calculation of it. And what I recommend you do is I recommend you go into the Go Live sessions and you take a look at several videos relating to the pivot strategy, right? Because there's multiple strategies that you could play in with this. Like me personally, I probably wouldn't use three bands, but I would use the Bollinger Bands because this is sort of a ranging, type of strategy. Okay, so again, you want to use pivots. All right, you want to use pivots in the most effective way possible, and you want to capture these highs and lows, right at the right level so you can anticipate where the market may go. Okay, so amazing strategy. This is really cool, really good, right? And for the most part, ladies and gentlemen, look, you'll have direct access to this, depending if you have a qualifying membership. So if you got any questions or whatever the case may be, hit me up. And also don't be afraid to, explore and discover stuff about pivots over here in the back office. If you go in through the IM back office, the Go Lives or the Academy videos, should be able to learn a couple of things. So I hope this video was helpful, a good reference point for you. And if you are currently looking at if you're doing your analysis and you need me to confirm your analysis, just send right over to one of our groups, and I'll definitely check it out for you. Tag me on it or send it to me directly. I got your back. All right. And with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in. Share the play, share the wealth. Let's get it.